Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I've got some spoilers for M21, but first, huge news about spoilers. I don't know if you heard about this yet, but oh my gosh, this is almost unprecedented. Wizards has accidentally leaked an entire set before. In fact, I know of at least two. I'm sure it happened more than 2 times though. But the preventableness of this, holy shit, spend less time bitching about how much you hate white people and their ruining society, and maybe spend more time doing your job, because they accidentally forgot to block people from opening M21 boosters on Arena. Whoopsies! So you're probably wondering, well, how the heck do you get M21 boosters? Well, if you were to pre-order the Liliana pack, there's those, the 2 pre-order packs, both $49.99. One, you get a bunch of like draft stuff and whatever and some styles, but you don't actually get any boosters, which, I mean, come on, like throw in like 5 boosters. But the second one is just straight up a bunch of boosters. So you get 50 M21 boosters, and they just forgot to put the little do not open until Christmas sticker on it, apparently. So anybody who bought that, which by the way, if you buy both, you get the bonus pet, and it is an adorable, I want to say Scottish Terrier, maybe. He's got like a mustache and like a little battle hat and armor. Oh my god, I'm buying that. Not the bundle, just the pet. 20,000 coins, or I believe it was 3,000 gems. So literally the second I get 20,000 coins, screw drafts, I'm getting that puppy. Although I might wait, because I think you get it with the Mastery Pass. They did release that information today. They just said you get a dog pet. They didn't say this dog pet, so it might be different. So just FYI on that. So for at least several hours, people were able to purchase the M21 packs, and then a couple people noticed, and let it be public information, that you can open the packs. And so I would assume that probably every single card has been leaked at this point. But I'm waiting for a couple different websites to kind of, get the screenshots from all different random people that you wouldn't normally source spoilers from, so that's why it's taking them so long. And they gotta make sure they're not fake, and they gotta make sure the person actually bothered to screenshot them, and then we're okay with being a leaker, which the Wizards was the leaker. I mean, come on. So we might see spoilers a little quicker than we already did. That said, I think I've got 30 today, and I think they were the ones that were already supposed to come out. But boy, what a shame to all their little buddy streamers who sign legal agreements to not say anything bad about Wizards. The textbook definition of a bias. That's not even a bias, that's just coercion. It's not even coercion, it's a fucking legally binding document. They are paid and legally bound to never say anything bad about Wizards of the Coast or their products. Wow. Hey Des, you must be so disappointed with getting blacklisted by Wizards. No, I feel better about it every day, thanks. You know that Greenlight creator program thing? They're trying to make more creators and projects and podcasts that they'll have in their pocket due to the terms, because so many of us just said screw it and got blacklisted, and we say whatever the hell we want about Wizards. Bad paper quality, you're gonna hear about it. They accidentally leak an entire set, you're gonna hear about it. Lower the Mastery Pass rewards on Arena, you're gonna hear about it. Subscribe for more truth. So all those streamers are probably pretty pissed when they got, their exclusive one spoiler for 3 days from now, and oh, whoops, Wizards undercut you by leaking the whole thing. So that's what went down. That's the whole situation today. Let's jump into the spoilers. So first we've got a Zuza, Lost But Seeking. Oh my god, every time my car keys disappear, right? I feel you, sister. I feel you. But by the way, this card, it's a reprint. It's, people heard of it. It's kind of good, but not really in standard. This card, it looks so good on the surface. It looks like such a recurring free ramp card. But here's the thing. Unless you're playing something really weird like a land bounce to hand or land to the graveyard back to hand combo thing, like something really specific that uses lands, except for that, she isn't going to be a very good card, because 1 in 3 cards in your deck is land, give or take. So unless you're drawing 6 cards per turn, you aren't going to consistently have 2 lands in your hand. And after about turn 3, you don't need to drop 2 lands in a turn, because you don't have that many in your hand. So unless you have a way of getting them in your hand, she's pointless. So this is another just Commander, Modern, I don't know, maybe Legacy or Vintage, just money reprint. Every core set is basically Eternal Masters at this point. They throw in cards that are provably irrelevant, or so they hope and think, Scape Shift, into the core sets to make them more valuable, because they're just worthless garbage. They always have been. The expected value of a box, just the average value of the set, is just terrible. By design, they know what they're doing. It's for new people, it's not supposed to sell, it's not supposed to be the big single set, we get it, but they're well, it would be nice if we did make money, so they start throwing stuff like this in. Even after Masters 25, she was still $30, because people do stuff with, I don't know, probably Wasteland or something, or maybe an Evolving Wilds or something similar, Fetchland. A $30 non-mythic reprint in a standard set, that's insane. Also, remember, there's a card that says you can play lands from your graveyard. There's multiple cards that say that, I think. So she's part of a very particular loop, but like I said, she is just not for Standard. It would be really something if somebody found something to do with her in Standard that actually works. Next up, we got a Mythic Chromatic Orion. It's a 7-drop. You know, the art for this one, just looking at it, I kind of want to know who these people are and where they are, because this looks like pretty future techno, sci-fi space stuff here. It's like that SpongeBob episode where you go to the future and everything's chrome. Future! Anyway, it's a legendary artifact. Holy shit, they put legendary on a card. I thought they forgot what that word meant and when you should appropriately use it. You may spend mana as though it were a mana of any color, big surprise, and then you can tap it to add 5 colorless. Wow, well, I mean for 7, but nobody's gonna, like not cheat this out. Nobody's going to not cheat this out. That's how that sentence works. Then they got a pretty bonkers ability. You pay 5 and tap it, so obviously you can't use both at the same time. Unless you untap it. Never heard of that. Then draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So obviously a huge commander card. This is basically like Commander Masters at this point, this whole core set. On the flavor text doesn't explain anything. It just says visitors marvel at its design, unaware of the other world that inspired it. Dude, you and me both. Like, what's going on here? Where is this? Next up, a card that was so powerful it was in Commander 2014 and Ultimate Masters. It's a reprint of Containment Priest, which is still only about $3-4, but anything above 3 for Standard is pretty good. Or maybe 4, because that's about what a booster costs, but I'm used to buying them in bulk. Wholesale, obviously. People said I'd be excited about this. I do not remember what this does. Let's see. So it's a 2-cost human cleric, white, which is going to be the dominant color after this comes out, obviously. Flash 2/2, and if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Oh, I have heard of this card. There's actually a couple cards that are phrased that way. This card has a little bit of crossover with that other one, which I think is going to survive rotation too in 3 months or 4 months. It's like creatures from anywhere but your hand can't enter the battlefield, or spells can't be cast from graveyards or whatever. And we got Graph Diggers, but like that one is literally a 2-cost white spell. So you throw it in with this and a sideboard and they're just done. It just shuts down degenerate decks. And I hope enough people play it that it just drives them out of the meta. Or Wizards, instead of printing Containment Priest, you could just not print broken shit that people hate. Stupid degenerate free casting shit. I mean, there's a concept. Then you wouldn't have to print cards to fix it, and I wouldn't have to waste space in my sideboard or my main board playing stuff like this. I do absolutely love that this has flash, though. That is so funny. So this was actually one of the masterpieces in Amonkhet. I knew it sounded familiar. So you can wait with this like a counterspell in your hand, and as soon as they cast Gyruda, nope, you get nothing. Well, then they'll just blow her up, and then Thassa flicker Gyruda, and then win anyway. They really should have banned Thassa. They should have banned Thassa, Zenith Flare, and Teferi. Those are the 3 biggest misses. Oh, that and obviously either Embercleave or Torbrand. Those 4 cards really need to go. And looking at the M21 spoilers, we're up to like 8 cards now that really need to go. And it's not even out yet. This is going to be the train wreck to end all train wrecks in Standard, I assure you. Thankfully, stuff like this exists, but this does nothing. Dead-ass nothing if it's in your main board, but there is no sideboarding in Best of 1 on Arena, which is what everybody plays, so oh well. Next up, we got Fierce Empath. It's a 3-cost 1/1 elf, and when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 6 or greater, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Very strange. It's very narrow, it's very specific, it's kind of late game despite this only costing 3. It'd be funnier if this cost 1, because it'd be like this little insurance policy, and like you'll always know it's coming. Kind of like those prey counters, that thing that costs 6, but then you can pay 1 to drop a prey counter, and as soon as it enters the battlefield, it blows everything up with a counter on it. I love that thing, because it's just like this, like, Stephen King Langolier movie thing going on in the game where your opponent knows it's coming. They can hear it coming. It's getting closer. Oh, there's 3 mana. There's 4 mana. There's 5 mana. That's just funny to me. Also, Langoliers, that movie was the shit, dude. Mr. Toomey, where's my Mr. Toomey fans at? In the comment section, leave a thumbs up and leave a comment about scaring the little girl.
Scaring the little girl! Scaring the little girl! Lady! We're diverting to some tin pod airport in the middle of nowhere! I've got better things to think about than scaring the little girl!
If you haven't seen the Langoliers, just pause this video right now and go watch it. It's like 4 hours. 4 hours of awesome! Anyway, I don't know what to think about this card, but Fierce Empath is officially Mr. Toomey approved.
Scaring the little girl!
Next up, we've got Garak the Chonk Dragon. He's a 5/4 for 3. That's nice. Legendary. Hey. And he's flying. Oh, I just realized This is Commander Masters, so of course everything has legendary. It's not legendary because it would be unfair to have 2 of it. No, Wizards doesn't give a shit. It's legendary so you can make it your commander, and they can sell it to commander people. It's all so clear now. Anyway, he's flying. He can't attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. Okay, good luck with that in red. And at the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. This is really similar to something they printed in the past. In fact, I even had to check. I thought this literally was something they printed in the past. So strangely enough, at least Card Kingdom is selling the pre-order on this at $15, so they must have had something really specific in mind with this. I don't know how far this will really go in standard. I mean, some kind of red ramp or like an additional flyer for Is It Drakes or something? I don't know. It'd have to be kind of specific, but I mean, at the beginning of your end step, get a free treasure token. Like, that ain't no joke. He could be like an enchantment and that would be pretty good, let alone the fact that sometimes he'll be a 5/4 creature that can actually do something. And I will say, thankfully, they put legendary on it. 2 of these would be ridiculous. So next up, they did it. The leak was true. It's Grim Tudor, and it's at Mythic. I guess probably because they wanted to preserve some price. This is a $180 card. Or I should say this was a $180 card because it was only in the starter set 1999 edition, and that's it. And it was a rare. I mean, I don't know why people get so damn excited about this card. Have they heard of Demonic Tudor? It's 1 mana less, but that said, a lot of Tudor effects in black cost 4, so this is pretty good. This might be like a beneficial you lose 3 life thing because it might be like a Death Shadow card. I don't know. I don't really follow Modern, which by the way is the reason that, you know, these standard product spoilers are being reviewed by me in the context of standard. A lot of people apparently haven't noticed that. They're like, why didn't you mention that this is really good for Commander? Well, 1, I don't give a shit. I only care about my Commander decks. And 2, it's a standard product for standard, which is what I play. So just a little FYI for you. But yeah, this currently is pre-ordering on Card Kingdom at $59.99. We have what, like 4 $15 cards and a $60 card so far. Like, this is some crazy shit. And a lot of the cards look playable in standard too. So, wow. Honestly, instead of this, I'd rather have a Fiend Artisan, but, you know, you can't always sack a creature. But Fiend drops it directly into play. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I was going to run Black Devotion, this don't help, you know what I mean? So, I mean, honestly, I think this isn't, like, more expensive than Demonic Tudor because it's a better card. It's clearly a worse card. It's just a supply issue. So, honestly, by the time this gets reprinted to death in Standard, I mean, yeah, it's a Mythic. I hate to even say $10, but I'll say 15. I think that's where it'll land eventually. Like we're talking a month later after release. But it is nice of them to include all this value, because see, if they start printing stuff that isn't terrifically relevant or played in Standard but is very expensive, the cards that are played in Standard, the rares and the mythics, are going to go way down, because, you know, if a box is worth $130, I'm going to open it and sell the singles. If it's worth $120, I'm going to open it and sell the singles. If it's worth $110, I'm going to open it and sell the singles. And then at a certain point, everybody just stops. Well, if half the entire box's value is a bunch of Commander staples, a really, really good rare that's good for Standard that would be $10 is now like $3, because that's just how they all shrink relative to each other and scale down. Hopefully the math on that makes sense, but yeah, it's a very good thing. Whether you're gonna, you know, open it for value and trade, that's good for you, or if you want Standard to be affordable, then that's good for you, and usually those don't go hand in hand. So I don't disagree with them stuffing a bunch of money into this set, but I still feel like the Masters sets, now that they're back, I guess, are a more appropriate place to do that. So next up we got Indulging Patrician. This sounds wrong, but I don't know how else you would pronounce it. Anyway, it has flying and lifelink and it's a 1/4, so okay, and then at the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. Oh yeah, that's what 2-color life gain decks needed, was this. Sure, that's nice. 4 toughness too, so if you're playing against red, you're gonna win, which, you know, good, screw red, I'm sick of it. A removal heavy 2-color life gain deck should be able to beat mono red, but right now, it usually can't, so hello this card. Too bad the entire Standard meta is gonna be a shit show, otherwise this would be like an actually good thing for the game. The game's still gonna get flushed down the toilet, but, you know, at least they printed that. Next up, we've got a funny looking island. Don't really know what's up with this, but okay, cool. I guess they realize that if they print a special looking land in every single set, it's just automatic money. And like I said, core sets need all the help they can get. I mean, you know the last unset, how that was propped up entirely by fancy lands and they made them extra super turbo crazy fancy? Yeah. If your set is garbage, throw fancy lands in it. Golden rule right here. I kind of like the look of it, but it almost looks mechanical and sci-fi and like Star Trek instead of like, oh, magic to fairy time stuff, you know, and like artifact stuff. And so did that orrery. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know who's in this storyline, to use the term loosely. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like this, I kind of don't. And by the high number, I don't think we're going to find this inside of regular packs. I mean, we might, who knows. If it's collector booster only, that'll be a real dick move, I'll tell you that. Next up, Jeskai Elder. Oh, good the Jeskai are here. My favorite broken Narset-powered shit machine. Jeskai right now, and honestly in the past, is just like control with some broken white stuff added in. Mixed with unbelievably early removal and really, really insane levels of card draw. And there's like 2 or 3 Narset cards now that fuel it. So if they're going Jeskai, boy, I cannot support that at all. Spoiler alert, they also added mill as an actual keyword now, and so mill is going to be heavily featured. And allegedly phasing. Great, what a great set. This will be so fun to play with. So this does have prowess, which normally is pretty good, but I consider it annoying in the context of standard right now. You already get enough benefits for casting non-creature spells. They don't need to add prowess on top of it. It's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, it's whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Never did like that effect, but honestly, it'd probably work for the decks it's in. Next up, we got Liliana, Waker of the Dead, a 4/4, and Legendary Planeswalker Liliana, obviously, and then +1, each player discards a card. Oh, great, recurring discard on a plus. That's nice. That's great. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Because we needed more ways to not let your opponent play their deck at all. Thanks for that. So then we got -3. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. Okay, so that's just a removal. Plays around indestructible. I mean, -3 is expensive, I'll tell you that. That's pretty appropriate, actually. Then -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. And it's exiled at end of turn. Just kidding! That's what it should have said. It doesn't say that. So in other words, emblem win the game. And by the way, it says a graveyard. So just more broken, annoying shit. I mean, is anybody surprised? Double Devotion too, can't forget that. Yay. Next up, those damn Llanowar elves are back. We got Llanowar Visionary. It's a 2/2 for 3. He's an elf druid, of course. Very, very, very hated tribal in basically every format. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and then it taps for green. For just tapping for 1, you're pretty late, bro. Just saying. I simply just do not play mana ramp that costs 3. It just doesn't work. It never has worked, and I'm convinced it never will work. You basically have to not draw this first and then ramp into it. I could see somebody running 1 or 2, but at 3, you're awfully invested if somebody wipes the board or gets rid of this, so I don't like it. And next, we have Buffon Agitador. And that, of course, means Mayhem Jester, allegedly. That's a bit of a loose translation, but you never know. I mean, they call a lot of stuff Mayhem in red, so I could see that. It's a 5/5 for 5 devil creature. And whenever you sacrifice a permanent, it deals 1 damage to any target. Why the f*** did they think we needed another one of those in Rakdos? What the f*** were they thinking? Rakdos sacrifice with Witch's Oven, the stupid f***ing cat, and the stupid f***ing active treasons that we have like 8 of right now in Standard. Whoever printed this. Hopefully 5 is too high and we never see this get played. Otherwise, the whole damn deck's rotating in 3 months anyway. And we all know Standard's going to be an unplayable shit show for at least, 3 months after this comes out. So next up, finally we got Captain Woofer and his subwoofers. It's Pack Leader, he costs 2, he's a 2/2 for 2, he's not legendary for some reason, and other doggos you control get +1/+1. I'll let a Lord card slide this time. You guys know I hate it, and I hate almost every tribal because it's just, oh look, my things got bigger. Wow, how creative, I've never seen that before. Boring. Vanilla, oh look, they're all the same subtype creature rush. Boring. But it's dogs this time, so who gives a shit? So whatever Pack Leader attacks, prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. So it's indestructible, but it's situational. It's only in the middle of combat on the swing. That is so much more fair than giving a card hexproof or indestructible, because then your options go down the toilet for getting rid of it ever, even on your own damn turn. So this, oh, it only has first strike when you're swinging. Oh, it only has first strike on your turn. It only has indestructible in the middle of combat. They need to do way more of that and way less of just printing it on the card. So this is a highly effective, good tribal in a tribal that's not that printed, and it's a 2-cost, and it's non-legendary. I really don't feel like you should be able to stack up 2 of these and play at the same time. Especially since, logically, there is only 1 Pack Leader. Plus, on the swing, he already includes himself in that ability, which is really not how they typically print that. In fact, remember the indestructible horse generator, Crested Sunmare? It doesn't grant itself indestructible. It doesn't say all horses, it says all other horses. So you can actually do something about it, but I think that was like they always had indestructible. It wasn't just during combat. So maybe that did need a weakness, but yeah, this is, by the way, they're not technically indestructible, but who would board wipe you in the middle of combat? Oh, that's right, the existing Teferi, who lets you cast sorceries at instant speed. Teferi ruining everything again. So I just ran a search on the Gatherer, and there are currently 0 dogs in Standard. 0 cards with the subtype of dog. Commander Masters, everybody! They better print like 40 or 50 dogs in the set. Next up, we got the creepiest damn thing I've ever seen, Peer into the Abyss. So it's a 7-cost sorcery triple black. They're really pushing mono. I mean, it's not just a devotion thing because they realized, duh, the set needs, or the whole standard meta needs more devotion. They're doing it on non-permanents. But yeah, target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library, then loses half their life roundup each time. Well, here's that card. Here's the problem functionally. Okay, digitally, whatever, cool, you draw a bunch of cards. Paper, you count your entire library, write down the number that's in your library, start counting your library again and stop at, probably 22 or whatever. You have to do it all within view of your opponent with them verifying the count. Then you have to figure out what to play from there. Oh wait, this costs 7, so the answer is nothing because you definitely don't have any mana left. And then you just discard down to 7. It's like, what even is this? This is the most time-wasting bullshit I've ever seen. And if you read the flavor text, this is a Braids card. Why am I not surprised? Braids is the craziest freaking serial killerized bitch in the history of the game. She just comes in and ruins everything on every card she's on. So is this even a good card? I have no idea. It's very situational. I think on its face, if you were to just play it like you're playing normal Magic, no, it's a terrible card. But if you want to lose life or want stuff in your graveyard or want a bunch of cards in hand, then it's great. Obviously. So next up, we've got Sumor, which is apparently plunge in Portuguese, my favorite language of all time. I love the fishhook on the bottom of your C. I still know what it means, but I think they should put fishhooks on the rest of the letters. So this is a 2-cost instant, and it says, obviously we've already seen this card, it was spoiled like 2 weeks ago. Destroy target planeswalker or creature with converted mana cost less than or equal to 3. Because typing less than 4 would just make way too much sense. Yeah, we're going to need this to kill one of the Teferis, allegedly, if it's accurate. I like that they printed it at uncommon for draft. So next up we got Primal Might. It's a 1 green plus X sorcery, it's a rare, and target creature you control gets +X until end of turn, then it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. But no trample, which is really the only way to do this. I mean, if you look at how much mana people can generate with blue-green decks right now, wow. Now, if you put it on a trampler, that's a different story, but you're on your own for finding that. So this is potentially deadly. Even 3 mana could put this over the top. That's why it's sorcery speed, because if this was a surprise, this would make Embercleave look like nothing if this was instant speed. Trust me. You let a 0/1 token through and you're dead if this was an instant. Just a reminder, Teferi lets you cast this at instant speed. FYI. Next up, we got Quirion Dryad. That's how you pronounce it. I'll pretend she's Spanish and say Kyrion. How about that? Or maybe she's Chinese. She's Chirion. So anyway, Cheerios hair has very conveniently placed hair. What's the card do, Des? Read the card. It's a 1/1 for 2. It's a creature Dryad. Oh, I bet we're going to see either Druid or Dryad Tribal. I bet that's what Mark was talking about. Whenever you cast a spell... Oh, no, he's talking about the dog card. Ooh, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Oh, well, RIP Dryad and Druid Tribal. Whenever you cast a spell that's a white-black... Wait, what? For God's sake, read! White, blue, black, or red, put a 1/1 counter on this card. Good, maybe she'll use the counters to cover up her So any color that's not green, which you guys know I don't like anything that encourages multicolor play in Standard. If they would just pass the damn rule that says you can't have more than 2 colors in your deck in Standard, it would solve almost every broken deck that's ever happened in the history of Magic other than Red Rush. And briefly mono blue. So I think she'd be okay in a proliferate deck if it just literally wasn't mono green. Next up, we've got Chuhwa de Revelação. I've changed my mind about putting fishhooks and little wavy things on your letters. Just stop. So this is Reign of Revelation. It, just like every other card named Revelation, draws cards. So if you pay 3, it's instant, or pay 4, it's an instant, draw 3 cards and discard a card. So... not bad. I don't like when they give these kind of cards to a control-heavy environment, which we have. Otherwise, no problem with it. Pretty good card. Next up, we got Rin Seri, Inseparable. Oh, that's so cute. And it's legendary because they have proper noun names. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that's what they do. I mean, generic pack leader doggo? No, he doesn't have a name, so you can have 4 of them in play. That's fair. But Rin Seri, well, I mean, come on. You know what, pack leader? I'm naming him Rudy. Let's name him Rudy. He looks like a Rudy. Rudy the pack leader doggo. So anyway, this is a 3-color 4-cost 4/4 legendary dog cat. Haha, Nickelodeon reference. And whenever you cast the dog spell, create a 1/1 green cat creature token. And whenever you cast a cat spell, create a 1/1 white dog creature token. Because why the hell not? It's a shame that they made the dog and cat tribal mechanic clearly 3 colors because of this. That's a shame. I want to just mono white dogs. Keep it simple, no fancy lands. Just play it because you like dogs. Obviously, that deck isn't going to be very good. Then again, I said that about white black humans, and it's kind of playable. I mean, it's not like you see anybody on Arena running it, but I've played against it. It's okay. It would be more okay if they get rid of the broken shit that's pushing it out of standard. So also, if you pay 3 colors there and tap it, Rin Seri Inseparable deals damage to any target equal to the number of dogs you control. You gain life equal to the number of cats you control. Fan-freaking-tastic. I love this card. Next up, it's back again, Rune Halo. This is a very reprinted card. It's got to be at least the 4th or 5th time we've seen it. It's double white and an enchantment, so devotion right there. And as it enters the battlefield, you choose a card name, and then you have protection from the card name. I freaking love this. That said, by you, they don't mean like you and all permanents you control, like you, I don't know, it just means you, literally the players. So they can target your permanents just fine. They just can't target you. Now, if you already got hit by one of something, it's almost like, why bother? You know, like, oh, duress. Well, that's not going to happen twice. Yeah, it probably isn't. They probably got to draw an average of 14 more cards to get to another duress, naturally, with no Scry or Tudor assistance. But if it's not a spell or an effect or a planeswalker ability, well, I guess a planeswalker ability, or it's like a permanent in play, like a creature, yeah, you just shut it down. It's still there, but a lot of them still have abilities. Like Gyruda, you don't really care about getting hit by Gyruda. You care about it summoning more shit into the battlefield. Same with Winota. This wouldn't do anything about that. I like Rune Halo, but I would much, much, much prefer Meddling Mage. Just let me name a card and they can't play it. Done. In fact, give me like Meddling Mage 2 or like Meddling Grandmaster Wizard for like 1 more mana and then remove all instances of it in play too. We honestly need more name jamming so that people wouldn't just rely on 1 card to win the game, because that's another thing that's inherently wrong with Standard right now, is that people just run the whole game with 1 overpowered card in their deck. And if you can't do anything about it, then you can't do anything about it. It is absolute bullshit. By the way, based on the camera angle, she's clearly a Twitch streamer. Anyway, we've got Shipwrecked Druid. I don't know why this has Magic Puzzle Quest on it, but that game's still going. Full disclosure, former sponsor, but it's a pretty good game. So it's a 5-cost double devotion Merfolk Wizard for 3. Oh my god, Merfolk are coming back. Just kick me right square in the balls. All the toxic shit, they put it all in the set. So it has prowess, because of course it does. And when it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Great! Then you get to cast some degenerate broken shit again. Awesome. At least it costs 5, putting it into borderline unplayable. Next up, we got Spark Hunter Masticore. It's a 3/4 for 3, which is already really, really, really good. This could be draftable. And as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Okay, you know, in draft you probably have a extraneous card you don't need. It has protection from planeswalkers. That we need to see more often. And it, if you pay 1, Spark Hunter Masticore deals 1 damage to target planeswalker. And if you pay 3, neither of which require a tap, by the way, neither of which are restricted to sorcery speed, by the way, it gains indestructible till end of turn. Instead of indestructible, I would have almost preferred, if this is going to hunt planeswalkers, to have it have like protection from a creature subtype of your choice to get past blockers. But indestructible is a close second. I mean, they could have just said it's unblockable until end of turn. This can only be activated if you are attacking a planeswalker. There you go, fixed it for you, wizards. Next up, Teferi, Master of Time. Oh, goody. So this is one of the main Teferis. This is the mythic one. I'm sure we're going to see probably a rare and an uncommon. Who knows? And yeah, it looks like this is spot on. So it's a 3 loyalty for 4, which I can get behind that. And then he only has +1, but it says you may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn anytime you can cast an instant. But is it 1 per turn cycle? Can you do a +1 on your turn, then a +1 on their turn? I'm going to guess if you're supposed to get to 10 from 3, the answer is yes. And that is some bullshit. While the other Teferi's in place, suppressing all instant speed stuff, you're going to have this. Great. So it's just draw a card, discard a card, weak-ass bullshit, but it's going to get them to another control spell, another Sinister Sabotage, so that's some bullshit. Then we've got -3, target creature you don't control phases out. Can't wait to track that shit. And then we've got -10, take 2 extra turns, because it's Teferi and because f*** you. I hate him. I hate everything about him. I did say that this, honestly, across the board is pretty weak. It doesn't really do anything that important or good other than help your deck along, so I suspected that this was not the mythic version of Teferi, but now we're seeing that it is. So I can't wait to see the weaker ones if they bother. I mean, last core set, there was a lot of different genres in it, you know what I'm saying? I did see a leak, I'm not sure if it's real or not, but it's Teferi Brainwashed Protester, and it says if your opponent is white, light their deck on fire. Not sure if it's real, I don't know, I have my doubts. But what I can confirm is Teferi's Ageless Insight. It's a legendary enchantment. Holy shit, they made it legendary. Probably because Teferi's name is on it. So, it's a 4-cost double devotion. Yay. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 instead. Normally I'd be like, yeah, let's go, let's do it, blue devotion. But we all know this is going in Esper control, and it's going to be a fucking disaster. Okay, here's how control should work in the game. You take, 3, 4, 5 of your opponent's spells and either pin them down, remove them, turn them into a frog, whatever you do. Do some blue shit to it, counterspell, whatever. And then because you shut down the key things in their deck, you identified exactly the strongest points and you made it their weak point, you shut them down to the point where your deck could just barely get ahead and then you win. Okay, that's control. That's control's place. Outdrawing your opponent 3-1, 4-1, and 5-1 with sheer card advantage while not letting them play anything in a 100 card deck that you milled yourself out on purpose, then just summon a Jace so you win. That's not control, that's bullshit, okay? Making it so that your opponent cannot stick a spell for the rest of the game is not control. I don't even know what to call that. That's not control. People are like, I'm running a control deck. No, you're an asshole. Enabled by Wizards of the Coast. Thanks, guys. And by the way, I have a feeling this is going to fit in a mill deck. I heard that they made mill a mechanic. Can't wait for that. So next up, we got Teferi's protege. Kind of ironic considering in the storylines, he is a massive asshole. I don't know who would work with him. If you thought he ruined the actual game, like Fourth Wall ruined the game, you should read how much shit he ruins in the story. So it's a 2-3 for 3. If you pay 2, tap it, draw a card, discard a card. Weak, boring shit, common filler, bye, let's go to the next card. We've got, oh my god, why are these in alphabetical order? I knew this would happen. It's Teferi's tutelage. I'm already sick of looking at his stupid face, and it changes card to card. I mean, I could say that the artists don't know how to draw black people consistently or at all, or don't care, but I would never say that. Anyway, this is a 3-cost enchantment. There's a card just like this that's called like Sphinx's Tutelage, and I hope this doesn't do something similar. Let's see. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Okay. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards. Oh, here we go. There we fucking go. Mill is now an official keyword, despite everyone except for degenerate, knuckle-dragging former Yu-Gi-Oh! Players who think it's so funny, haha, I ran your deck out because they're immature little bitches. Everyone else hates Mill. Every single player who has ever touched Magic hates Mill. So they have upgraded it to be an official named mechanic. Unbelievable. So now just by already getting card advantage, which you're obviously drawing cards that can mill them out, you're gonna mill them out. So whatever you're doing to win, you're already doing it. Now you win more faster. I hate cards that pile on like that. It's like Merfolk Tribal. You already have freaking Merfolk Tribal. They're already boosted to hell and back with +1/+1 effects. In Ixalan, they were either unblockable, flying, or both. You already had that. And then on top of it, oh boy, whenever you hit them, you get to draw a card. It's like you're already winning. You have a winning strategy. Now they have a card that just says win more, win faster. Which sometimes is so overpowered you even shouldn't put it in the deck, but for Mill, you absolutely should. It's all about speed and number of turns. And the problem with Mill, right now in Standard, is the sheer number of board wipes and the ability to play 3 colors so you can play every board wipe in existence. There's even Teferi's Titty Twisters, which lets you recover one of your cards to hand before you board wipe, and then just play it again. That's flirting with an asymmetric board wipe, one of the most broken things in the game, period. Oh, actually, that one's a delayed flicker, not a return to hand. There's also a return to hand one, I'm pretty sure. So there's like 2 that do that. Holy Any deck that can be summarized as you do nothing while I do exactly one thing and then, oh look, I win, should be banned forever. They should never design them in the first place. It's, Approach of the Second Sun all over again. It's, Maze's End. It's, that one modern deck that won the 2013 World Tournament by just looping the deck in the graveyard over and over and over. It was basically eggs. It was a Sphinx card. Sphinx's Revelation, I think. Yeah, absolute cancer. A deck with 1 win con is first of all boring as shit, and secondly, when the entire rest of the deck is board wipe, control, and draw, you've got complete and utter cancer there. Wizards should do everything they can to stop encouraging that and stop it from being played if anybody plays it. With ban decisions, obviously. And they're like, no, it's valid. Some people like to play control. Well, some people are assholes. I don't give a about some people. I want to play Magic. I want to play my fucking deck. That's why I went to F&M, sat down, put my cards in sleeves, shuffled, and then drew 7. That's what I'm here for. Not to sit there and watch you play Magic. If I wanted to do that, I would just do that. That's why nobody wants Mill or some Control-a-thon thin win condition bullshit, new Ugin the Spirit Dragon, to dominate any part of the meta at all. It shouldn't even be a buildable deck, and they keep printing cards that are just clearly designed to encourage degenerate shit like that. And then all you get from Mark Rosewater is, well, people just don't like playing against control. They need to get over it. I want to play my cards. When anyone's deck gets completely shut down and does dead-ass nothing and they don't even touch the opponent the entire game, that's the sad smiley face when they ask you on Arena, in case you're not familiar. Click that one. Maybe they'll get a clue. So moving on and away from bullshit named after Teferi, we've got Tormod's Crypt, which just clears a graveyard for 0 instantly. Bye-bye. This card can never be printed too much. Anytime this is in standard, good. Should anybody have to put this in their deck and waste a 4-of slot on this? No. Should anybody even be forced to put this in their sideboard and waste space in their sideboard for this? No. But guess what? There's a bunch of graveyard bullshit going on right now, especially Zenith Flare. And instead of not printing, non-interactive shit, because Mark just loves non-interactive mechanics that you can't stop or interact with in any way, they print the problem and then they print the fix. And we all just have to run the fix. Great. Because that works so well with Hushbringer and Tocatli and all those other, I solve it instantly cards, Graph Digger. I don't know if you knew this or not, but even if you mainboard it, you have a 45% chance of it being in your opening hand. So it ain't gonna save you the game. That said, I would love to drop this into play turn 1 and just watch my asshole opponent quit. Screw your Zenith Flare. And finally, the last card that we have to tolerate for today, Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Oh look, they named him Vito, he's legendary. Commander Masters 2021. So it's a 3-cost 1/3 Vampire Cleric. Whenever you gain life, oh here we go again, we needed one more card for that. Target opponent loses that much life. Are you fucking kidding me? This is like Sanguine Bond or Blood or whatever the hell in creature form. And don't forget, you can pay 5 and creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn because of course they do. Remember, a mono-white life gain deck that I have went from silver to mythic in about 2 weeks. Keep that in mind when you read anything about life gain in this set. And also, Lurrus is a card. I mean, he ain't bringing this back, but just saying, he really takes that deck and sends it up a bit of a notch. So that's all the spoilers for today, except not really, because like I said, they accidentally leaked the entire set because they're idiots. I would sarcastically read off their entire, we're so disappointed in the community, and this is terrible, and this harms our business so much, when that whole set was leaked from, I don't know, the stolen sheet, I think it was, from the printing facility. But we didn't, know that at the time, or either that or it was when some judges leaked some shit, I don't remember. And they just went off on this, fucking, we're all 10 years old scolding bullshit. Hey, take that at your next meeting, your next staff meeting, and read it out loud to yourselves, wizards, you dumb f***s. This is entirely your fault. F*** you, f*** these broken cards, and f*** M21, f*** the state of standard. I hope you go bankrupt. Subscribe to Desolator Gaming, because with this set, they're going to. I'll see you guys next video.
Scaring the little girl!